Hi everyone, welcome to second part of the uh, pin diode simulation using HFSS. So here you can see a dipole antenna. So this is a radiation box. I'm just hiding it, disabling the grid view. So if you see, go over here, you can see there is a port at the center of a dipole, and then there is a short arm, and then there are two pin diodes, then again an amps. So it is a reconfigurable antenna. When the diodes are on, it can work something like a 2.4 gigahertz, and when the diodes are off, only this part of the uh, diode will get radiate, and this will work about 4.6 gigahertz. So I didn't design this antenna for a specific band. I just tried to convey the concept of the simulation settings. Okay, so over here you can see the two blocks representing diodes are just dummy box. You can see it's non-model. It's not going to consider under the simulation. I'm just hiding it over here. And what you can see is there are three ports in the excitation. Under the excitations, you can see the port 1 and port 2, port 3. So interesting part over here is uh, there is no proper ground setup here. So if you assume this is a port, one end of this one will be ground, another you can say is a signal, or a diode signal will switch here and there. And in RF, there is no point of talking about the ground. Depends on the phase, it will vary here and there. But you need to understand one thing. In earlier transmission line model under the part 1, we have a common reference ground where all the ports are connected to ground. But here it's not the case. For a microstrip line or rectangular patch antenna, if you need to connect uh, ports, you probably need to connect it something like this. You don't, sometimes you won't be able to have a ground under the port. Okay, so we don't have any other metallic area for this diode, and this is the case how we can approach the simulation. Let's say what we need to do is you just have to like what we did before, we just have to go and insert a circuit design. Under circuit design, click OK. So now you can see circuit 2 is created. Just drag and drop the HFSS project. Now you can see three pins are came out here. Okay, port 1, 2, 3. But the problem here is we probably need to uh, have the pins with two. Uh, each pin should have a reference. Otherwise, where we will connect the other end of the diode. Okay, so how we can do that one is right click over here, go to uh, edit link definition. First we'll go there, and here we can select which sweep of the HFSS has to you select it. So you can, there are totally three setups. One is last adaptive, at which the frequency at which the adaptive meshing will consider here. The complete S parameter will consider here, sweep will consider here. So sweep is a one frequency point. I think in this dipole 2 sweep is disabled. So make sure you are selecting the right sweep. Then you can see simulation, interpolate existing solution. If the HFSS doesn't have the result, it will throw the error. If I click here and select the simulate missing solution, if HFSS doesn't have the result, it will ask, circuit will ask HFSS to resimulate it. Okay, so keep this option enabled. And second one is we need to create reference pin for each port by right clicking here, go to edit symbols, go to bus pin. Under that you can go to pin location. There is an option add individual reference pin per port. Okay, so port 1 for the excitation, port 2 are the port 2 and 3 are the diodes, pin diodes options. So click OK, and now this came like this. the HFSS pins are came like individual ports reference are came. But if I wanted to uh, do some kind of a modification, let's say pin diode 1 is here, 2 if I wanted to keep it here, I can keep it something like this. Okay, and what I can do is make this one little bigger till this point, and I can just place my pins whatever the way I want. Okay, this will looks pretty good in terms of connecting RLC boundaries and everything. After doing that, just press Ctrl S to save this one. Yes, and this one is related to circuit one. There are some issues, but we can neglect it. We can ignore it right now. And if I go to circuit 2, you will see that dipole box, the HFSS box comes like this. Okay, and what we will do is we can place a port here. Okay, and a ground point here. Okay, and make this as a microwave port and go to edit source. Let's say I want the power source, go here. Here what we discussed last time is 20 into square root of SQRT of 1 watt. We'll put it as a input. Click OK, click OK, and click OK. Now you can see a 1 watt source connected to the antenna. So this area we need to place the RLC boundary, RLC combination for on and off cases. Either you can use S parameter model, or else we can use the RLC circuit, which we already have it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this model and just doing a Control C and coming over here, putting it back so that we can reuse this combination. Putting one more time and just keeping here, so you can see connecting these wires, and 3 is connected here. So L1 resistor, resistance, capacitance. So everything is given as a variable. So variable, you can see it over here. What we can do is we need to just click here. You can see what is the value for each quantities. So the resistance is put as a 15 kilo ohm. Right now is our off condition. So we can directly put 15 kilo ohm here. CF is 32. So this is right now it's put as a off condition. At the off condition, the diode has to work at a higher frequency. Only these 2 amps will be enabled, and the other thing will be disabled here. So this is a condition now. What we need to do is we need to see till what frequency the S parameters are simulated, 1.5 to 6 gigahertz. So go back to the circuit and set the analysis as a linear network analysis, and you can make sure 1.5 to 6. You can enter any number of frequency, it will do the interpolation. Then as usual, run it. Now what you are going to see is rectangular plot, S parameter. So this is a S parameter when the diode is in off condition. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to show you is I'm just taking a copy of this data and pasting it, and going to write when diode is off condition. Okay, so we can check when it is on also. And what we are going to see is in the ATK2, we have seen this diode is going to resonate about 4.6 gigahertz. Let's see at 4.6 gigahertz what is the gain. So if I going to check the S parameter of the simulation, you won't be able to see anything clearly because it has a 3 ports. Okay, so it's better to it's not able to find the right S parameter from the HFSS S parameter now you are getting from the circuit after connecting the RLC. But the gain, the gain and every details you can get it from the HFSS model. So right click on the edit source. Now you can see this is the right the combination, magnitude and phase combination for the port. But go back into circuit and right click on this block and do the push excitation. What you can see is that edit source settings in the HFSS will get update from the system, from the circuit. So this the simulation with the circuit and HFSS we can say as a system level simulation. Okay, I'll tell you why we call it a system level simulation. Now if you go to edit source of the HFSS, you can see the magnitude and phase are now it is updated with whatever the value from the circuit, and now you can see the system power which actually came automatically from the port, sorry, from the circuit. We set it as a 1 watt, it automatically came as a 1 watt. Okay, if you are setting some power, while doing the push excitation, it will automatically update it here. And now if you want to see the radiation pattern at 4.6 gigahertz, what we earlier we used to do is we'll go here, go to 3D polar plot and plot the gain and everything. So let's plot a realized gain. You won't get anything. So the moment if your data is coming from the circuit, the instead of using gain or realized gain, you have to use system gain because system is controlling your gain parameter. Go to system gain, go to dB, and under the adaptive pass we did the adaptive pass for 2 frequencies, so we can select 4.6 and click new report. Now you can see this is the 3.1 dB is the gain at that particular frequency. Okay, so this is for diode is when the diode is off. Is what you are going to do is when we are just going to change the parameter here. The resistance value we are going to give us a 3 ohm. Okay, and this capacitor case we are going to put as a 3 femtofarad. Yeah, so f femtofarad. So this is updated. So the capacitor and updated the L1 value is already 0.15 nanohenry. That's fine. This is the setup. The parameter now the RLC parameters for both diodes are optimized, set for diode on case. And as we discussed last time, the value has taken from this particular paper. So L is this value. When the diode is on, it is 8 femtofarad. When diode is off, 32. When the resistor is diode is on, resistance is 3 ohm. When the diode is off, it is 50 kilo ohm. So this combination is used here. And I think we did a mistake here. The capacitance should be 3, not 3. It should be 8. So put as 8 here. Okay. And right click, analyze it. Once you run the analysis, the advantage is you're only once you're running the simulation, and okay, once you are running the simulation in HFSS, and that simulation you can use it for on case off case without rerunning it. You are controlling everything from the circuit side. And if I run the analysis, you can see when the diode is on, now the S parameter is around 2.4 gigahertz. When the diode was off, I can see the antenna was resonating at around 4.6 gigahertz. So the switching is working perfectly fine. Right click and not here. Right click and do a push excitation one more time. And now we are doing the push excitation for uh, push excitations for diode on case. No, we are not going to do. Let's do one validations here. So this is the gain for 4.6 gigahertz. So 4.6 gigahertz. I'm just updating it here. Okay. Okay, there is a spelling correction typo. Okay, and we'll do one. This is a diode off case. So we'll do one plot for 2.4 gigahertz also. So here you can see there is no radiation gain. It's minus gain for at the 2.4 gigahertz. Now we are going to do the push excitation for diode on case. Do a push excitation. Click OK. You will see that when the switching happened, the gain also will get update automatically in the HFSS simulation. So if I go to 2.4 gigahertz, the gain going to be, now it is 2.1, because when the diode is on, it is working at 2.4 gigahertz. And when the diode is on case, the 4.6 gigahertz gain reduced to 2.5. Earlier it was 3.1 dB. Okay, so this is how we can club both circuit and HFSS together. Okay, and one interesting thing over here is, let's assume I am not going to design uh, this as a diode case. Let's assume that two diodes, instead of two diodes, we are going to give a varactor capacitor, and you wanted to see the capacitance variations. Okay, you wanted to see the capacitance variation from a broad level. Okay, and we need to compare the response. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything except this capacitor. Control X, Control V somewhere here, and we will delete this all portions, and let's put a capacitor value here and connect that capacitor like this, and similarly one capacitor here. Control C, Control V, we'll put it here, and okay, we can delete this wire section which is extended unnecessarily. Oops, Control Z. Yeah. Yes. Now what you can see is this capacitance. So you can see. Otherwise, just click on the circuit. The capacitance value we are going to say as 1 picofarad. Let's put as 1 picofarad, and so both capacitor value will be 1 picofarad. I wanted to do an parametric simulation by changing that parametric capacitance value. So what I will do is I'll just click add that capacitance. You can put as 0.5 to 10, and for every 0.5 picofarad values I wanted to simulate. And you can see this is 20 parametric simulations, and just right click over here, sorry, I right click over here and run the analysis. So the interesting thing is this 20 parametric simulations you are going to complete in fraction of seconds. Whereas if you do that in RLC boundaries in HFSS, that's going to take a huge amount of time, depends on the complexity of your model. So as usual, you can plot the S parameter, go here in the capacitance, you can select all the capacitor value if you want to see the variations, and you can see the S parameter variation with respect to different capacitance, and the optimization of RLC components, everything you can club with the circuit and HFSS, and just one simulation HFSS and do all parametric, you can do it in circuit. This is going to be a breaking scenario for optimization process. Hope you enjoyed the video.